Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another new episode of the Alle podcast. Right now, today is a special episode because first of all, it's in English, so you know it's not my primary language, so okay. But the second one is because with me, I have the honor to have David Varga, the CEO of Fintokei. David, thank you so much for having me. Today, I prepare a lot of questions, too much. No, so I'm joking. No, not too much question. Because, you know, in Italy, there's a lot of skeptical about the proprietary firm industry. So I would like with this interview to remove all the doubts that people can have. So I don't know, people don't get paid or it's a scam, all of these things. So first of all, who is David Varga and what is his experience in the industry?
So first of all, hello everyone, and thank you very much for having me here, actually in our offices. But welcome to Brno.
Thank you.
Secondly, and regarding myself, so I'm the co-founder of Fintokei and also of a brokerage called Purple Trading. I have an economics, management, and law background, and I actually took part in this industry 15 years ago. Most of my career was in the regulated brokerage space, and several years ago we came across the prop trading industry and it caught my attention. We were involved in the industry by providing services to some prop firms initially, and I was fascinated by the model, by how it is perceived by the customers, and that it is something new in the trading space. I always look for innovation and for things or for ideas how to improve the status quo. So it caught my attention, and eventually we decided to start with our own prop firm called Fintokei.
Okay, so I'm curious about this one because what is the philosophy behind Fintokei and what the name represents?
It's a bit unusual name. I'm very well aware of that. It logically is related to our primary market, which is Japan, or the market where we started. So initially we thought, or we didn't think about growing Fintokei on a global scale. It only came up as at a later stage. And Fintokei actually means in Japanese financial clock or financial watches.
Okay.
So we somehow, or I try to paraphrase it as a time that you have to do something with your finances, and because we don't have so much time, none of us, especially nowadays. And basically you want to
have more freedom.
You want to improve your financial status rather sooner than later. So that's why there's Fintokei that can help you and that can kind of fast forward your trading ambitions. And as I said, we started in Japan because 2.5 or 3 years ago there was zero knowledge about prop trading among Japanese traders, and we saw a huge potential to actually bring this innovative concept to the market.
Okay, but why launch a new prop firm right now, and what are the differences between Fintokei and other prop firms in the industry?
So first of all, Fintokei was started 3 years ago, or the idea behind it. I'm not sure if it's like a super good idea to launch a prop firm nowadays because things are changing. Maybe some regulation will come, and the competition is already quite big. Two reasons. First of all, we saw the big opportunity on the Japanese market. That's what I said already. And secondly, Fintokei is a nice addition to our group, Purple Holding, and to the brokerage infrastructure that we already built over the last 15 years. And as a matter of fact, we were actually looking for good traders from the very beginning, even before we had our brokers. We were trying to connect successful traders with investors. That is still a big part of our services that we provide under Purple companies. And like I said, Fintokei, first of all, or the prop firm space, I personally find it very interesting, and it combines all the things we were doing over the time. And I think we have a very good environment and the infrastructure to support a project like this. And it can have multiple benefits for our basically other companies.
Yeah.
And it kind of creates a very nice synergy within our portfolio.
Yeah, okay, so we can say that Fintokei is like the sister of Purple, something
Yeah,
like
basically.
that.
Yeah,
Basically,
exactly.
I see that a lot of people say it is the daughter. It's not the daughter, the same one. Yeah.
Yeah, correctly. It's more like a sister company.
Yeah, my sister company. But right now, how do you see the future of prop firm with regulation that you say and the changing markets?
So regulation is a bit uncertain. It's a quite heavy topic. A lot of people kind of talk about it, or even the regulators maybe think about it. But in my own opinion, it's not really easy to put prop trading on demo accounts under on virtual simulated accounts, whatever you call it, under the current regulatory and legal framework. Easy to simplify it, there's just no law that could accommodate the model. So they would basically have to come up with a new law or new regulations. That's not so easy. Also, the regulatory bodies are kind of only affecting their own jurisdictions, and there's nothing like global regulation or regulator. So basically all the regulators across the globe would have to somehow cooperate and come up with some new rules, new laws. So it's a pretty heavy thing to do. But at the same time, it's something we would appreciate, because the industry is still a bit of a wild west.
Yeah, a big wild west.
Yeah. And us, especially, we already have many regulated companies, a lot of legal background as well. So if regulation comes, we are very much ready for it. We are even actively communicating with some regulators or consultants about this. But there's nothing I would be aware of that will be coming in near future.
There are any other main problems that affect prop firm?
I would say in terms of the infrastructural side, I would say the payments area, because of how the industry is a bit wild. Even the payment providers, banks maybe, and so on, maybe start considering it as a bit of a high-risk industry. So, for example, for a new prop firms, it can be pretty difficult to open a bank account or have a payment provider to process the purchases of the accounts or payouts. So that's something I would consider as a infrastructural potential problematic part. But in terms of the customer or trading or business side, I think the biggest problem of the industry nowadays are the cheaters and the organized groups that are trying to misuse or exploit the model.
Yeah.
Because there are some, let's say, things that organized groups can do to exploit it.
Yeah, go long in an account and go short in another.
Simply said, yeah.
I understand.
And that's very far from the original
real trading.
Yes, and from the original idea, because even though that may not be the case of all the prop firms, but as I said in the beginning, we were always looking for good traders, successful, profitable traders, and we already have several options how to help them and how to find ways how both them and us can mutually grow together. And the organized abuse or exploitation is pretty much not in line with this, and basically such traders have zero value, or such trading strategies that are just kind of random and buy sell on opposite directions, opposite accounts, have like a zero value for us. And maybe even a bigger problem is that this kind of trading data is like impossible to use. Even if you want to, as a prop firm, wanted to use it and copy that kind of flow to the real market, you would actually end up losing, of course, as a prop firm. So it is a pretty important issue.
Yeah, but what kind of traders do you want in your prop firm, and what are the tools that you provide, that Fintokei provide for helping us succeed?
Good question, thank you. So first of all, like I said, the type of traders we want are the ones that have some kind of edge, and especially who can trade in the long term. Because another, let's say, paradox or how to call it of this industry is that many traders got used to basically somehow got to the funded phase, get 1 or 2 payouts, and then basically burn the account. So risk too much, and basically not treat it as a long-term thing. And again, something like this is basically not what we look for. Is not. It's hard to use that kind of trading data in the real market. And I wouldn't even consider someone who just got 1 or 2 payouts and then burned the account as a profitable trader, which is also a narrative very much popular in the industry. People just showing off a payout certificate and already considering themselves a good profitable trader. So I didn't really answer your question. So what we look for is someone who can actually trade in the long term. We don't look for someone who is making 20% per month and this kind of crazy profits. And chasing these kind of dreams, like having a Lambo next month or something.
Generation,
It's not what we look for or what we would support. It's completely opposite. So we basically want to find traders who can make 20% per year. Okay, maybe 50% that would be better, but a complete different type of trader. So the sustainability, the longevity of the trading is what we look for, and we try to promote this. We try to even reward this by the scaling program. We have, I think, one of the best scaling programs. And like I said, we also have other opportunities for the traders. How as soon as, for example, they scale to the level 3, we can already get them in touch with our portfolio management company and look if there is any potential for cooperation. So maybe in a nutshell like this.
Yeah, super good.
I could talk longer about this, but
no, it's very important for me. But right now, what is the percentage of people that go to the first payout?
First payout, I would say it's around 2-3%.
2-3%
of the traders.
Of the traders. So.
But again, we have to be. If you ask me, like, what is the percentage of people who get to the 4th, 5th payout, that will be much lower.
Yeah,
it will be definitely less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
Yeah. And that's something we try to change gradually.
Yeah.
By promoting the sustainable trading.
In my community, I see that a lot of people go in the funded stage, but never get the first payout. I don't know why, but when you are with the pressure, with the funded account,
it's all about psychology.
Yeah, because you make, I don't know, 30% before going, so you can do that. But people want, I don't know, the showing, as you say, on Instagram, they pay out with 10K payout. Yes, you can do that, but not in a long term. Or even you can do that, but with 400K account. You make 1%, you make 40K.
That's the whole idea of the platform, right? To give you more
money,
more virtual capital, but basically more capital to trade with. So you don't need to really do 10-20% a month to actually have a good return or good reward. But unfortunately, all the social media hype, etc., it's kind of spoiling people. Which is partially understandable, but like I said, we try to promote the different approach.
And because there is a lot of skeptical in Italy, what are the guarantees that your platform offer to ensure that traders are actually paid their profit? Because a lot of people say, but can I get the payout? I say, yes, you can get, but can you answer this question?
Of course. I would say it's mostly about our reputation and the fact that we are part of the bigger group. So we shouldn't have any liquidity issues, or we shouldn't be acting recklessly and kind of not paying attention to our reputation, to the fairness and transparency we are all valuing so much. So I would say mainly this, which I find very important.
But what do you say to those who say that prop firms are just a financial casino? Because this is another hot topic. And how do you respond to the critics who see prop firm as a scam or an unsustainable model?
Good question, and obviously understandable question regarding what's happening in the industry. Again, it very much depends how each prop firm is treating their traders, what rules they have, or how they work with the trading data and the flow. I would say the main difference is that it's basically not a matter of luck. There are certain rules. If traders abide by those rules, there should be appropriate rewards. So I don't really find the similarities to a casino or something like that. But it probably also comes to the revenue or to the business model of prop firms, which again is very much depending on the initial fees. That's, I would say, probably a known fact, and it's also our case. Like majority of our revenue on Fintokei is from the initial fees. We are always looking and still looking on ways how to utilize the data, how to either monetize it on our end or maybe even with some external partners. Plus, there is always this synergical effects that I mentioned in the beginning with our other entities, with our other partner companies within the group. So it is Fintokei is not only a kind of separate entity. There's a lot of connections between our holding. But yeah, I can understand the question. And
yeah, because the first time I heard about prop firm, I say, it's too good to be true. It's so beautiful. So I can pass a challenge and people give me virtual money to having payout, having 80%, 85%. So as Italian, I say, no, it's so good. That can be true. But yeah, it's true.
Okay, yeah. But really, are you so, like, Italians, are you so suspicious in by
very
your
suspicious. Yeah,
Okay.
very suspicious. And if you could...
Good to know.
Good to know. If you could give just one piece of advice to someone who wants to make a living trading with prop firm, what would it be?
If someone wants to make a living in a long term,
in the long term, yeah. Because I say for my community, I always say, guys, go for a 2R. And R, you can decide what is 500, 1,000. It's your choice. I use 0.5% in the funded account. I use 1 to even 2% in the challenge phase. But to make a living, I aim for a 2R in a month. So if I say I go with 0.5, I aim for 1% a month, and it's good. It's enough because with you, I can capitalize with 400K. So with 1%, I can make 40 grand with 1%. So this is my set. I'm set on 2R. This is my advice. What advice could you do?
I like your advice, first of all. What I would say is that the aim of the traders should be, and like maybe long-term vision of traders should be, make your trading in a way that you can have a nice living, but to not be under stress. I don't think anyone would want to be constantly stressed about having to pass some challenges again and again and again, and basically spend hours a day on just this. So my advice, and that's exactly in line with what we are looking for in Fintokei and probably other prop firms as well, find a sustainable strategy. Don't focus on making 10, 20, 50% in a month, but find a sustainable strategy that doesn't require you to trade 8 hours a day and be stressed. Work on your psychology and then scale the capital, whether with one prop firm, whether with more. But I definitely think this approach is much more sustainable in the long term, not only because of your strategy, but also because of your mindset and your kind of psychological health or mental health. And what is also very important, I think, that this can be replicated on the personal account or with a fund. You never know in 5-10 years, maybe you'll already build like a very nice track record, and there can be a fund or some other entity
that's good advice.
that wants to like utilize your trading. Whereas if you only chase those quick payouts, 1-2 payouts and burning the account, okay, that may be nice. Okay, maybe, and there is this kind of dopamine factor that I can understand, but I don't think it's something you should aspire to in the long term, because in 5 years, if you look back, I don't think you will say, "Oh, that there was some added value." Or that I kind of advanced on some different level. And whereas with your advice or my advice, I think you will gradually learn a lot of experience and build your capital, and the kind of compounding effect will definitely help you as well.
The secret is to have more capital and keep the same strategy. 2 hours a month, 2 hours a month, 2 hours a month, but with big capital. This is the main secret. There's no secret, but
it's not so easy, because
it's not easy.
It's not attractive. It doesn't give you huge results over a month or two. But again, it depends on what's your vision and what's your ambition. If you do it to kind of show off on social media, or if you do this because you want to build a career, you want to really have a good life in 2, 3, 5 years.
Why, David, you think that people love the short term? I always say this guy is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You have to be consistent. Don't think in a month, don't think in 1 year. Think about 5 years. Think about 5 to 10 years. What can you do with all this proprietary firm, all the knowledge that you can improve right now? So why people are focused on the short term? Why?
It may be just an excuse, but I would again blame the social media and maybe even the way how people are grown, and the general lifestyle of us, and maybe even our families, our parents, like a quick pace, not enough time to do something properly. And then the social media aspect, showing you all those flashy things and stuff that you can have next month. And it's kind of all these kind of factors. I think that's what I would say. So external factors. I would blame it for them, even though it may sound like an excuse.
But as a YouTuber here, how can I help remove this kind of bling bling generation, flashy thing?
I think by doing what you do, so giving this kind of good advices, interviews with interesting people, and by promoting the responsible, sustainable things, that's the maximum you can do. It's very respectful from my side that you kind of try to promote this kind of approach. I like it a lot. And I don't think there's anything else. Like just the awareness and talking about this stuff will already help a lot. Because like I said, I don't think people are grown or taught in schools nowadays about some long-term aspiration or this kind of stuff. It's something you need to find within yourself, or after like a deeper discussion with someone, or watching even like YouTube videos with this kind of topics. But if you don't do this, I don't think there's many schools or families that would kind of lead you in this direction.
Because especially in Italy, there is no financial education at all in the school. So I always same here. So I always say you have to create your reality bubble, your bubble where you can learn, think. So listen to podcasts, reading books, watching YouTube video with some YouTube video, not all YouTube video. I think it's the only one.
Look, it's as I said, it's about promoting this kind of approach. It's about talking about raising the awareness, because in general people like to use shortcuts in life, in anything. And of course, if something sounds or someone tells you you can do this and that in 30 days, whereas if you tell or I say to someone, is not so easy. It's going to be difficult. It's going to take you maybe 5 years to get to that level. It of course sounds less interesting, less attractive.
Less attractive, yeah.
But I think people, sooner or later, they will find out that the shortcut is not the way. And then by the long-term approach, you gain much more. And you actually move yourself to next levels, let's say.
Yeah, maybe
that's what counts.
The shortcuts are the long-term way.
Yeah, that's even a saying like this in Czech, actually. Like the shortcut is the longest route possible.
Yeah, it's the longest one. So, David, is there any topic that we didn't discuss and we should have?
I don't think so, actually. I think we covered pretty much everything.
I love it.
In a very nice time. So I think it will be even interesting for your viewers. And once again, I'm really glad. I didn't even know that you are having this kind of approach and really reasonable view on the prop firm industry, on your personal development. So very nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much, David, for your time. Thank you for having me here. And
same from me. Thanks for coming.
And thank you for watching and see you on the next video. Bye.
Ciao ragazzi.
Grazie mille.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Grazie per aver ascoltato Alle FX Podcast e che la liquidità sia sempre con te.